All right. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Monoxide Podcast. I'm your host, Harris, a.k.a. Monoxide, man of many automotive aspirations. I don't know why I stumbled there. Don't worry about
You'll
it.
get there.
And I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Dan, who still has a tan.
It's getting there. They stick around for a while. Well, it's been sunny out, too. I've been outside.
It sure has. Yeah, it's been cloudy over here, whatever. Dude, it's like 70 degrees outside right now. It's ridiculous.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. My winter tires are getting shredded again. Dude, you know how winter tires ain't cheap, dude.
It's honestly not even worth it. I go all season.
All season?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go back to episode 65, no, I'm kidding. But nonetheless, guys, today we are going beyond the meat with Jake Bird, who we've had back on the podcast on episode 13, which was way back in the early days, man. That was back in, I want to say, April. A lot's changed since then. You know, you still have, you're the owner of Automotive Alterations, so you could touch a little bit on that. But it's been a chaotic 2023 for you, and now we're in 2024. You've got a lot of exciting stuff going on for you, but just give us a little where you're at nowadays.
Yeah, so I mean, since the last episode, a lot has changed. You know, we were doing a lot of good stuff in the beginning, and business was really good. Had a pretty unfortunate accident not too long ago. Also struggled with a disease as well. Still fighting that, but I am also fighting to keep my business running. Still doing very good, and just having fun and being passionate in what I do, and staying strong mentally and physically. And yeah, that's really about it.
You're looking a lot better. It's been a few months since I've seen you since that first get together sometime in the beginning.
I think it was like a couple weeks after I got out of the hospital.
Yeah. Well, so what? Do you remember what month that was?
The crash was back in, I think it was. It's been 5 months. It's
5 months. So like August.
We were doing that.
I think it was
cruise.
August 17th was the day of the crash, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Well, you told me about it when we were on that cruise with Wheeler and all them guys when we went. We were downtown Hudson.
Yeah.
So
I was like, sometime
it literally
August.
just happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Like, I was talking to Jason Chun the day before, but dude, the community came out in full support of you, man.
I'm extremely thankful for, everybody that's been showing love to me. There's not even words that can explain how thankful I am for everybody, and I was also thinking about it too, after I kind of was coming back to, shortly after the accident, when you do stuff in life and you do a lot of good things for people, and it kind of feels like maybe those things won't be returned. And after my accident, my perspective has completely changed. It's like all those things that I did for people that was just out of the kindness of my heart. It's all been completely returned by, everybody that has shown love and supported me through what I'm going through right now. So it's beautiful. It's amazing. So
you've had a lot of good people come out of the woodwork. So there's just so we don't confuse some listeners either as well, because a good portion of these people might not know who you are. They might not be early fans or whatever, or they might not be from Minnesota or whatever. So I mean, do you want to kind of just touch on what happened in the accident? You can just gloss over it, just give them a little backdrop too.
We won't get too deep into logistics, but essentially I was riding my bike and I crashed on the highway. And that resulted in some pretty bad damage with my body. My left arm had to be amputated. I broke my spine, my neck, my femur. All of my lungs were collapsed. All my ribs were collapsed. My liver was cut as well. My knee exploded, broke a couple toes. That doesn't really matter, but
yeah, in the grand scheme, yeah.
Yeah, essentially my entire left side of my body was completely destroyed. I was in a coma for a little bit over a week, and it was pretty life-changing. I experienced death twice during that as well. Several blood transfusions, all kinds of crazy stuff, but just happy to be alive, that's all. So essentially it was just a really bad motorcycle accident. Life is extremely unpredictable. So literally a couple hours before, I was playing volleyball with a bunch of people that I call family, and just hopped on my bike, and accident happened just out of nowhere. So just essentially just happy to be alive, that's all it is. And
yeah,
just fighting. Just that's all I'm doing. That's all I can do is just fight. So
Yeah, and like I said, I think it was, I don't know if it was before or after we started, but like you're looking a lot fuller, since the last time I saw you. A lot more recovered. Obviously, there's a lot more to go, but nonetheless, like, it's seen a lot of that old Jake, you know. So it's been really fun to see. Like you're probably, I completely missed the last meet, unfortunately.
no, that's totally fine.
No, because I saw it on Facebook. I was like, oh shit, I forgot that was today.
Yeah,
And,
no, it wasn't intended to be something that people needed to come and do.
Right. Just
But
like a fun hang.
It was just kind of more for my mental. I really just wanted to be around some of my good friends and stuff like that. And that's what it turned out to be, and I was happy and fulfilled by that too. So, but yeah, and then also 2.5 months after the accident, I had a staph infection, went into sepsis. Was probably like I think I was like 5 minutes away from dead. It was attacking my entire body. And then I spent another month and a week in the hospital. And I just got out a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks now. And back at it again. Wrapping a Huracan right now, one-handed.
Yeah, you're a stubborn motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I'm not letting up. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's honestly inspirational. Get your mic just a little bit closer.
Okay.
Yeah, yep, right there is perfect. So yeah, I saw that you're working on that Huracan. I'm just curious. So whose Huracan is that?
It's a good friend of mine. His name's Chris.
Okay, so it's a different one than I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's Katie. Shout out to Katie. Love her.
Yeah.
I have literally hundreds of messages. Is that Katie's Huracan? Is that Katie's Huracan? I'm like, no, she's got carbon and all kinds of cool stuff on her car. But yeah, he just purchased the vehicle. It got dropped off the trailer at the shop. It's getting a full wrap, ceramic coating. Like every surface is getting coating, 10-year coating. And yeah, I'm just taking my time. Happy to be.
Have you been back into the shop pretty regular, or is this kind of your first stepping back in since the accident, or how are you working with the challenges of?
Well, before you get into that, so tell us a little bit, because I think I saw you, what was that, Pristine Milan's shop a few months ago? So kind of go through that little journey there, because that was when you were first back, kind of before you got back in a second time.
Yeah, Mylan just out of curiosity was wondering, how I was doing and what I was capable of doing, and I was just giving him a hand in his shop. That was kind of like my first step back into vinyl. When it comes to detailing, that's pretty much muscle memory for me. I can do it with my eyes closed. And I can also do it one-handed. And when you detail a car, it's not really a two-hand thing. It's actually kind of a one-handed thing. You're looking really close and making sure you're getting everything. So that's not a problem at all. And same with the coating. Right now, probably the biggest struggle is just being able to hold a buffer. It's not really possible. Working on the prosthetic part of my life, but yeah, pretty much he just kind of slowly got me back into it. I didn't really want to be in my shop because it kind of seemed to be a little bit of like kind of lonely. But after he gave me that opportunity, I was back in the shop and then doing some work, a lot of detailing. And then I wrapped a Bentley Bentayga with my good friend. And we did that at his shop with some assistance from him as well. And that was like my first actual full wrap after the accident. I did probably about 80% of the vehicle. And I mean, that just made me feel really good. And now I've been pretty much back in the shop full time. I'm there every day. So
back at your shop, right? Yep. And you're still based out at a Shakopee location, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So then, so how is it then wrapping? Like, how's it affected? So have you done any other full wraps since the Bentayga, I guess?
No, I've done some chrome deletes and stuff like that. So the Huracan right now, this is my second full wrap.
Okay.
This one, I also do have some assistance on, but still doing the majority of the vehicle. Just making sure that it's pretty much perfect before it leaves the shop and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I know I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep wrapping for sure.
So do you typically have a second and like employee or somebody helping you, or
yeah?
how's that
So
work?
right now I have my brother helping me. He has a little bit of training in vinyl, but his training comes from different shops, and a lot of the stuff that he was taught was absolutely incorrect. So what I'm doing with him currently is a complete restart, and he's taking in everything perfectly. When he doesn't know what he's doing, he asks questions, and it's just really nice to have somebody that you can mold and know that you can be doing something else and it's being done right. And also, if they're confused, they ask questions, and then you can show them how to do it too. So, like, as of right now, he can do a full detail to my standard. I do check it, obviously, before it leaves the shop, but just basic stuff like that. And he also keeps the shop clean and just super helpful. And it's really nice to have family around too. So, but yeah, my brother helps me. My friend Joe, TC Auto Styling, he helps me out a lot too. I have a good friend Wyatt who also helps me. Just people in the industry that come by and ask if I need help, or I can call them up and they can help me too. But I'm really trying to focus on just relearning how to do things and do it myself as well too, just for my own benefit.
Are you noticing a big time? So, like, let's say you do a full detail and it takes you an hour. Is it taking you 2 hours now, or is it adding just a little bit of time? Not at all. Same?
Yeah.
Great.
Literally the same. Yeah, I'm hard-headed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just crank them out, make the money, and do a good
What are you
job.
supposed to do? Stop? I mean,
Yeah, there was a point, though, also, after this accident happened. I mean, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that nobody knows what I go through. But there was definitely a point in time where I was like, I can't do it. I can't do anything. Like, that was my mindset. And, a lot of people were just, really pushing me to continue on. And that was super helpful. And since I've done a couple of things that I know I'm good at and knowing I can do it, now I'm just back at it.
The confidence is huge.
Yeah.
When that accident happened, I'm talking like the midnight, the day of, or whatever. Like, me and Jason were texting. Like, I think he texted me about the accident, or I saw something. I don't know. But we were texting, and the first thing that my mind went to was like, fuck, like
The business.
right? Like, assuming everything goes all right. Because, like, I already jumped past that. Like, I'm all right. Like, all right, assuming he recovers and all this, what about the hard stuff? Because that's what Jason texted me. He's like, oh, he lost an arm. And I was like, man, because this was like not that long after our podcast, like 2 or 3 months, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was, just around 3, maybe a little bit longer.
Maybe like 4 months or whatever, but it was like, middle of summer or whatever. So that was the first thing that I went to, right? Because, like, you had all these plans for the business. You wanted to, even potentially move out of state and all that. So that was what my mind went to. So when I saw, again, that video you did with Pristine, that was like,
oh, with back. Joe over at TC Auto Styling, the Bentley?
Yeah, the Bentley,
yeah. Joe owns TC Auto Styling.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm getting them mixed up. It's okay.
Mylan still, he owns a beautiful shop too. So.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and I've been loving the work that Jason's been putting out, man. Because, like, when he did that video with Mylan, I used that as an example for Tint Pros. I'm like, you guys should be doing this. And now they started doing that too. So that's been really cool. But nonetheless, like, I'm excited to see that Huracan though. So
Jason's doing work.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah. What's funny, actually, I think I texted him yesterday or the day before because I heard a Huracan ripping in a neighborhood. It was either a Huracan or an R8. So
same V10.
Yeah, same thing. And I thought it was either that one kid, that 18-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was him.
That kid is reckless, man.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Or I thought it was you guys or whatever, because, like, it sounded damn near straight piped.
Yeah.
Like, you just know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this one has factory exhaust, so it's still relatively
so maybe he's
loud,
back in town.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was the 18-year-old kid.
Yeah, because I know he's between here and Atlanta or some shit. I don't know. I can't keep tabs on everybody. But nonetheless, so business has been going good. So do you primarily push the detailing side of things? Because I know you've done some stuff with 3D Car Care product.
Yep. Yeah. So that was completely random, out of the blue. Katie, she told them, my story, because I've been kind of telling people that I'm more leaning towards detailing right now because that's where I'm comfortable. I have years of experience. I do really good work, and when I'm doing it, it's just smooth. The wrap is kind of like slower. I'm learning. Like, I know exactly how it needs to be done, but it's also kind of a learning aspect, and doing things one-handed is practically impossible. But yeah, primarily it's just the detailing is really where I'm focused at. And I do good with that too, with all the locals and stuff like that. Like, I have my business in Wampak's menus and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they called me up and they're like, hey, we see that you have really good reviews. You're local. There's no detail shops in this town. How would you feel about having your business and our menus? And I took that opportunity as well. And so, yeah, business is really good, but essentially it's just kind of the detailing stuff right now, and the wraps just come in when they do. I'm going to do them.
Dude, I haven't been to Wampak's in 4 or 5 years because like they're always packed.
Yeah.
That place is awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's the highest reviewed breakfast spot in town.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
it's like got some crazy, like old thing with the town. Like the old people just love that place.
It's an OG spot.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, I need to get back out there. I've been itching.
Is it one of those places that only does breakfast, or?
I think so.
Yeah, they do breakfast and it goes into the afternoon and then they shut down.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to get back out there, but yeah, it's always packed, dude.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's such a cool place.
It's a good product.
It's you know, kind of brings back like that old school feel, which I love.
Yeah.
That's kind of my style.
Yeah, those 3D car care guys, they're really cool. I got on a Zoom or whatever call with them a few months ago. They're a good bunch of guys. So
Yeah, they're extremely supportive, and they always have something nice to say, and sent me a care package. I did a trial with their product, and their products are phenomenal.
Yeah, they sent me one too, and I was like, this is pretty good stuff. Yeah.
I used the SiO2 sealant spray. It's just like a quick detailer. You just kind of have to use the 2-rag method and level it. But I think I did almost 6 cars with just one bottle. So their product a little goes a long way, and that's what I look for when I'm using products. I would like, because when it comes to running a business, you want to make sure that you're profiting off of what you're also having to pay for out of pocket. So when I was able to do that, that was like really cool. So.
Have you explored the idea of doing mobile detailing at all?
Yes and no. When it comes to mobile detailing, you kind of have to have a crew to do that.
Okay.
It's something you can do solo, but it'll be, when it comes to mobile detailing, it's either you do it all the way or you don't do it at all. It's like you can't really own a shop and do mobile detailing. There's a lot of people that do, but they really just store their products there. Maybe do some corrections and stuff like that inside if people do want to come to their place. But a lot of those businesses are just strictly mobile. So they have clients that are like on list. They get annually like car washes and stuff like that. So it was an idea for a long time, but I think for me, I'm kind of a neat freak, and I just want to have a really nice clean shop where people feel comfortable bringing their vehicles in and it's safe, and I just know where all my stuff is, and I'm just kind of in my spot and in my zone. That's what I like. So, but mobile detailing can be extremely profitable if you do have a good crew. So, but not my gig.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Do they usually charge a different rate when you go mobile?
Yeah,
That seems like it'd be harder.
mobile detailing is actually cheaper, but their clients are like, it's crazy. A lot of those people have hundreds of clients that they go to like every single day. It's just a constant cycle.
Okay.
Yeah, they can make a lot of money, but their prices are usually lower. So,
okay.
Which
And
is
it
what
depends,
people
yeah.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the type of detailing too, because it's probably not super in-depth stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they just come like spray foam, claim it, clean your wheels, stuff like that, wash the car up, dry it, and leave. Like a basic car wash or a basic interior detail, stuff like that. But for me, my detailing is a lot different. It's extremely in-depth. Like sometimes we pull seats, consoles, stuff like that, and just make sure it's perfect and give the customer back their car. And I do have a basic package, but I created that package for like exotic vehicles or people that have their cars clean, but they just want to come in and get like all the sand out of the floor and stuff like that. So I do have a basic package, but 95% of the time, everybody chooses the in-depth package, which is you bring your car in dirty, you get it back brand new. That's just all it is. So.
Do they make, so I always put WeatherTech mats a lot of times in my cars, right? Because I'm getting in and out, sandy, muddy stuff. Do they make those for exotic cars?
I believe they do. I wouldn't
Do
see
they?
what they
I'm
don't.
just-
I
I
have a
was
WeatherTech account. I've actually never looked to see if they
Really? Just
if
a
they
random
do
thought I had
offer it
just now.
for exotic cars. I wouldn't see why they don't.
Right.
But also sometimes a lot of these people that do own those nice cars, they don't drive them in
Right.
dirty conditions. Some
True.
people do.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a bunch of sand or
I
salt.
mean,
in
I
it.
see
Yeah.
people ripping their nice cars in Minnesota. I do it. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, me either.
I'm a detailer, so my car's always clean or it's coated, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I ain't that guy. I'm a monstrosity, dude.
I actually came here the other day and I was like, oh, Harris is here already. And I went and I looked and I was like, wait a second, that car's way too clean. It was definitely not you.
One of those days I was pretty clean, but yeah, no, we just did a video with Lunatic because those guys are local, from Citywide PPF, and apparently I go back with Braxton. He was back on like the OG rallies back in the day, but I didn't really talk to him because it was Doug that did, that brought them on. So I found that out.
I haven't seen Doug in a long time.
I lost contact with him years ago after we parted ways. But yeah, dude, like those guys are super chill. Like, so yeah, I've been, they give me some product. I work with them. It's just nice working with someone local.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's the big thing for me is like, if you talk about being a part of a community, you got to be about it too. So
absolutely.
That's why that's why I love it.
Yeah, that's like when I had my accident, they the Spool City meet and stuff like that, they was essentially kind of for me, and my business is strictly directed towards Minnesota car scene. I do enjoy having locals come out, or some people come from the cities and stuff like that, but if you look at my page, it's really mostly people that are in Minnesota car scene, which is what I love, because then you can create relationships with those people. And my business is not just like detailing, coating and stuff like that. I do accessories. We do offer like oil changes, brakes and stuff like that too. I have techs that work with me, stuff like that. So, and if I don't know how to do it, I know somebody that does, and I can make sure they get sent to the right place. So
you got lifts and stuff then too?
Yeah, I have quick jacks and stuff like that. Okay. So race ramps, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
But I just I need to upscale.
Before we get too far into the show, I wanted to take a moment to talk about Raise a Hood. If your daily driver is having issues, aka your beater you got off Craigslist, Raise a Hood's telemechanics and AI tools can help you diagnose and solve the issues you may be dealing with for a fraction of the cost. All you have to do is add your car to the Raise a Hood garage to get started. You can provide the AI tool, also known as Gus, with the specifics of the issues you're having, and it'll help you narrow down what the culprit is. It's a great way to bounce ideas off of to figure out what actually might be the problem. You could then select from a variety of solutions to explore the cost and difficulty of doing the repair yourself versus taking it to a shop. If your car doesn't have detailed solutions yet, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and add your car to the garage for free, and that'll let the Raise a Hood team know what to focus on as they continue to develop and grow. If you want to try out Gus or chat with a telemechanic, go to raiseahood.com and add your car to the garage to get started. Use code MONOXIDE-FREE for a 1-month free subscription, or Monoxide20 to save 20% on a 30-minute call with a telemechanic. Let's get back to the show.
I would really like to have a storefront and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Okay. What would you sell on that front?
I was just talking to him about that, so essentially my ideal shop would be to have a storefront where people that are in the car scene that like to keep their vehicles clean, where I can sell products that they have to purchase online. Instead, they can just come to my business and purchase those products in store, and I just keep it stocked, and just have a variety of different products from different people, and sell like pressure washers and sprayers and clay and like just literally anything to keep a car clean. I would like to sell that in-house too. And then in the back of the shop would be where all the good stuff goes down. So
that'd be huge, dude. Like, I mean, like that's the thing is like if I need detailing product, like I can go to AutoZone, I can get chemical guys or something, but it'd be nice to have options. Like for example, when we went to Summit over down there, what was it?
Summit's they're really clean about their stuff too.
Yeah, we were down in the Summit in Arlington, I think it was. Oh yeah, that's right. You weren't with me. I went with the Nth Moto guys. Yeah, no, that was freaking. They have everything. Like to go into a store like that, I'd be like, I need this seat now. Like because it's connected to the warehouse. So that'd be really cool if you had like a stock.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want people to come in and if they don't know exactly what they're looking for, I can point them in the direction, explain the products, stuff like that. Or if it's not me, I have somebody there that could be sitting at the front desk and sell those products and keep them up to date on how each product works and stuff like that too.
I think that's the biggest benefit of it. So I ran into the Griot's guys at SEMA, and I was chatting with them, and I was using stuff that I have from them completely wrong. So I think just having that knowledge is huge.
It literally just takes reading the label.
Yeah,
read the label.
Who has time for that?
Or just go on YouTube and like the
That's what
guys,
they have a lot of videos.
Yeah, they have short videos explaining how to use their products, and it's the same way for vinyl, ceramic. They'll tell you how to post heat the vinyl, how to work the vinyl, stuff like that, what not to do if it's directional, stuff like that. And
that's really cool. Except I'm the guy that puts together IKEA furniture without reading the directions. So
Yeah.
wrong guy here.
I like chatting with somebody at a store. Like, you know, I'm an old guy too, so maybe that's just, you know, I don't know how the internet works.
Old school. I grew up around a bunch of old heads, so
yeah.
I keep it super OG. Like when people come in, I like to just create an immediate bond with those people so that they feel comfortable, they want to come back, and they don't feel like they're getting robbed or have to pay like an extreme amount of money for something that's really not that expensive and they can do themselves. Like I'm totally okay with people coming in and purchasing a detailing product to detail their own car. I'm not going to be like, hey, I can just do this for you for this cost. You know, I love to see people also get involved and do it themselves and get dirty. Yeah. That's cool.
That's why I like to, for like my marketing clients, right? Like I like to be like, hey, here's a list of things that you can do yourself. I can do it for you too, but you know what? You could also do this yourself.
Yeah.
Same thing applies here. It's like I could show you how to detail or I can detail for you. Yeah. Your choice.
Well, you're gonna try and maintain your car, but there's still times where you're like, okay, it's gotten beyond my control. I need to take it in and have it done.
Like when I had to go 100%. To Citywide.
Yeah.
When it gets like into steaming carpets and extractions and stuff like that, that's really when you want to start going to a detailer.
I'd rather go to a pro. Dude, I tried buffing for my first time. Fuck that. I'm gonna leave that to guys like.
Well, that's one that you can fuck up real quick.
Yeah,
too.
you can burn paint. Yeah, it can get dangerous real quick. It depends on if you're using oscillating, orbital, like. Yeah,
these are all big words.
It can get extremely dangerous really quick.
Yeah, no, that's.
And knowing your paint's depth, every car manufacturer has different clear coat thickness, and like you have to use micron readers and all that stuff, and make sure that, you know, you read the vehicle before you even put a buffer to it, because you never know. Somebody could be really good at painting, and maybe they sprayed a fender and it's reading extremely low on micron, but you don't have a reader, and you go to hit that and you just burn the clear right out, and then that.
Or even if that manufacturer, you know, is used to having a thicker clear coat, but somebody else has buffed it 3 or 4 times, you don't really know unless you check it.
That's something we talked about, again, both with Braxton and David, but then also Jen when we had her on too. They all talked about it. It's like you also don't want to detail it to like all the way. Because
you want to make sure you leave something behind.
Something for the next time, because this thing's gonna get detailed.
That's why I sell coatings all the time, because it's like when you do a correction, you're taking out clear. But when you add that ceramic, you're not only adding more clear to the car essentially, but you're adding protection, and over time that you can still come back and get another correction and coating and keep your vehicle clean.
Huge.
So that's why when somebody calls me and says, oh, I just want to do a polish, and they're bringing me like a 2015 GMC Denali or something, and it's black.
Game over.
And it's like, I can't polish that. I could, but there's still going to be a lot of stuff left over. Let's try this, you know, or try and figure out what their budget is and stuff like that. So selling and coating is essential for any type of correction. Like if you do a cut polish, it'll be ruined by a couple months.
Yeah.
Just especially in Minnesota. So
game over. Yeah. Who's your go-to ceramic?
I was just gonna ask that.
Right now I'm like all over the board.
Figuring out who you love. You're dating.
Yeah. I mean I've started with Ceramic Pro. I got ceramic certified with Ceramic Pro. Their products are extremely expensive, and also they do this thing where you have to purchase multiple products in order to do an install. So there's like a base coat, a top coat, a 9H, stuff like that. And that for me is not essential, because then I have to spend close to $1,000 to do a $1,300 coating, or maybe they're doing a 10-year, and you know, it doesn't even out. And then right now I'm exploring Adams, their graphene coatings, 3M makes great coatings. I'm just like all over the board.
I didn't even know 3M did their own.
Yep, 3M makes their own coatings. They do everything.
They do, yeah.
They make sandals.
Yeah. Did you know what they say that, what's it called? You can't go anywhere in the world without being at least 6 feet away from a product that contains 3M?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and also pretty much everybody that thinks they know something about the industry that I am in, they always say, oh, 3M. They only say that because 3M is here in Minnesota. But the reality is that some 3M products are god awful, and I would never use them, but some of them are good.
Yeah.
So, but that's like one of the biggest things I deal with in my industry. It's like they want to wrap their car like, oh, let's use 3M. I'm like, do you know anything about their product? And they'll say no, and then 3M's prone to adhesive lines and stretch marks, and it just goes on forever.
It depends on the company and the product.
Yep.
Like every company has its pros and cons. Because like I remember when I was like doing like liveries for cars, right? I had a strong preference towards Avery.
Yep.
It was just
Avery is
easier to
phenomenal.
apply.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just amazing for liveries, right? But then it just totally depends.
Yep.
But yeah, the glue lines was a big one. I'm not sure about their newer lines because like I haven't used 3M since.
They just came out with a new 2080 series. I have yet to try it, but it's like supposedly it's no orange peel, high gloss, phenomenal. Still has a cap on it and everything.
Yeah, I kind of I think I touched the 2080 like once, but, and it was really nice. Like, but yeah, nonetheless, like I don't have nearly enough experience to touch on it. But yeah, that was one thing I noticed when I'd be doing liveries is I always had the glue lines.
Yep. Yeah, and that stuff is easy to go around if you work with vinyl often, but essentially for a beginner install, I would never put somebody on 3M.
Yeah, pros know what they're doing and they know how to avoid it and work. That's the other thing. Like I went down all these rabbit holes of learning all these different types of vinyls and learning from guys like you and whoever else in the industry. Like this vinyl is cast. This is whatever.
Yep, calendar and cast. Those are the two different types of vinyls.
Yeah. That's why I struggle with cheetah wraps early on.
Cheetah wraps?
Yeah, that was a struggle.
I think it was Fellers or something that does that. I think it's Fellers that like sells their product. I'm not sure.
Like that. It was really funny because, and this was like 5 years ago, so who knows what the product is now. But like we cut out liveries, and that stuff was not. It's meant for full wraps. Literally 10 minutes up the highway, the liveries were flying off. Really, it was the funniest thing. But apparently, you needed heat for it to stay. Yeah. Yep. So again, it all depends.
On some vinyls are pressure sensitive, heat sensitive, both. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. What about G-Technic? You use any of their stuff?
I actually just set up an account with them after I got out the hospital, and System X is another company that I'm going to be trying. So I'm going to be trying those two products as well and see what I like. Both companies, what they do is they make you purchase a product on the spot, send them an installation video, show your capabilities, and then after that they'll sell you the product at a wholesale rate and stuff like that. So you kind of have to prove your abilities for them.
Well, that's a good thing, though. Yeah. You want good installers because the problem is, and I'm sure you see this all the time, is somebody might shit talk ceramic coatings or whatever because they had a bad experience with someone else. Yep, that's huge.
Yeah,
I was wondering how they did all that because I know that it's technically they're not supposed to. They don't sell to the general public typically a ceramic coating.
Yeah, essentially you're gonna want to have a business. Sometimes they'll ask for like EINs and stuff like that because you're going to be purchasing with the card and stuff like that, or business cards. And they really just want to see that you're an actual legitimate running business, and then they'll sell you the product. Ceramic Pro has a distance thing where you can't sell their product if another person is selling it within a radius of you. So it's like a 30-mile radius or something like that. So that's what Ceramic Pro does. G-Technic doesn't do that. System X doesn't do that either, which is really cool.
So then, would you be able? I think you like because I know like Tint Pros is certified or whatever. So like you would still be able to because you're far enough away. I think right, like just barely.
I'm literally like on the outskirts of a lot of people that are selling Ceramic Pro.
I've noticed that
but
too.
I don't sell it or use it I don't use it often unless somebody's really looking for multiple layers of coatings and they want like maximum protection. That's when I would lean towards Ceramic Pro.
Okay, so you're testing all these products. First question is why, and second question is what are you looking for?
Essentially, okay, so why I'm doing this is because over the years I've found that some of the cheap shit actually works better than the expensive stuff. And when I was younger, what got me into detailing, I was literally using like household products like Windex and bleach and weird shit. And I was always infatuated with like the way that the products work and the science and stuff like that. So it's not something that I do that's new. I've been doing this for years. I always am open to trying new products and just seeing how they work, price and stuff like that. But that's pretty much why. What was your second question?
Oh, you kind of pretty much answered it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just love trying new things, like, and just see what can be beneficial for my company, and also again, just like the storefront, having a wide variety of products for people to choose from, because some people come in on a budget. Some people say, I don't care what it costs, let's just do it. So having those products in-house, knowing how they work, and being able to sell it to my customers is essential, and that's why I'm doing it. So, but yeah, I mean, I can have someone come in and just give them a graphene coating or give them a legitimate ceramic coating. So there's variances and stuff like that, and I just want to make sure that when my customers come to me, they have options. They're not just strictly stuck with what everybody else does. So.
Outside of like 3D Car Care, have any other bigger companies worked with you yet?
No.
Like one-on-one?
Nobody has reached out. For that type of stuff, it's kind of you have to reach out. But yeah, just 3D they reached out to me first, and that was because Katie went out and told them my story and stuff like that, which was, amazing and super nice of her to do.
She's got a great relationship with those guys.
Yeah, and that's really about it. But a lot of the companies I do work with, I just reach out to them, and they do like text me here and there, and ask how I'm doing or ask how the product's working, but they don't really get too personal. So,
have you done any PPF since the accident, or do you care to?
No, I don't install PPF at my shop. My shop's not set up for it. I am SunTech certified. I started with PPF actually before RAP, but I don't install PPF. I'll send it to either Reese or I'll send it to Joe. Those two are definitely the top two in Minnesota for PPF installing. Maybe some other companies have installers that are extremely phenomenal, but my go-to are going to be Reese and Joe for sure for PPF.
Where's Reese based out of?
I think he's in the city. I know that. I don't know.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah, Reese Michelson.
Okay.
Auto Spa.
Okay.
Yeah, he does crazy work. Is
he based out of the other ratified shop? I feel like he might be.
I don't know where his location is. He got a new location, but that kid is a wizard when it comes to correction and coding. And even PPF installs, he does phenomenal. So
is PPF harder than wrapping or vice versa?
I think they're both probably even.
Okay.
It depends on the vehicle that you're working with. It also depends on the product that you're working with. Just like Avery is an extremely comfortable and easy product to work with. SunTech's going to be on the more thick side, a little bit more difficult to work with. So it definitely depends on the product that you're using and or the vehicle that you're working on.
Okay.
Like the new Corvettes, their bumpers are crazy. So the way that they make the kits, they make a bunch of relief cuts in the kits. So you have to install all these different pieces, stuff like that. And it can get pretty complicated for sure for PPF. But then also the same idea goes into wrapping. You do inlays and stuff like that too. So it can. I would honestly say they're probably really close to the same.
Okay.
PPF would be, in my opinion, a little bit more difficult. So because it's just like people have this idea when they get PPF, they're getting a brand new car. It's gonna hide everything, which it does a very well job of hiding things, but it does not make your car brand new. Essentially, if you're going to get PPF, you better be getting it right when you bought that car off the lot brand new.
Yeah, I always consider it as like your phone screen protector, right?
It's protecting an investment. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
PPF's incredible, dude. I love it. It's just, and they got colored PPF nowadays too, which is pretty sweet to see. Yeah, I saw one of those new Mustangs get a satin PPF. DS650.
That'd be kind of cool.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
The same color that Tim DeCestro has.
Yeah. Colored PPF is high gloss, no orange peel, but difficult to install. Some of those PPFs are definitely a 2 to 3 man job and stuff like that. We just seen a Cybertruck get done in a gloss red PPF, but that's new. That's pretty new to the market.
And it doesn't so it looks easier to me because you use a lot of water. You can kind of slide stuff around, but it doesn't do it like a shrink to fit like vinyl would, right?
You want to make sure you post heat your PPF.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like vinyl. You want to make sure you post heat the PPF because just like wrap, it's the way that it's supposed to be laid is it has one way to lay and one way to lay only, and it wants to be comfortable. So when you lay it on a flat surface, you really do not need to worry about it coming back on corners or anything like that. But once you start to get into contours and recessed areas, that's when you're going to want to apply heat or steam and stuff like that to make sure that the vinyl lays comfortably and it's not going to lift. So
okay.
it gets a little bit complicated, but yeah, it's the same way with wrap. You want to make sure that you post heat the entire thing and make sure all your corners are perfect and everything's tucked. PPF, they have two different styles. There's the kit that just lays directly on the body line, and then they have wrapped edges, and you can plot or cut those types of kits and stuff, but those kits, they wrap around dramatically. Like, they go extremely underneath every single panel. So with wrap, you don't really need to do that, because there's this thing called over wrapping. If you go too far in, you're stressing out the vinyl. So you really want to make sure that you just kind of go around that edge clean, make sure it's post-heated, and make your cuts and stuff like that. For PPF, it's like way around, like an inch around.
Really?
Which is really dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, I didn't even know that was a style of PPF. I usually see it like it gets cut right before the edge.
Yep. That's like just literally lays on the body line, and that's the most common kit because it's the cheaper kit, and you're still getting protection. But if you own like an exotic vehicle, 10 out of 10 recommend doing a wrapped edge for sure.
Okay.
Because it's you're not even gonna see the line of the PPF. It's just gonna be nice gloss paint, and you'll never know, and it's protected.
How big is that cost difference for that extra inch to go around?
I would probably say somewhere in the couple $100 range.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not dramatic. It's worth it, but yeah, essentially those basic like 18 to 30 inch kits that just go right up the half of the hood. Those are, that starts probably around like the $700 range for just like a partial fender, partial hood, mirrors, door edge. You're not getting like a bump or anything, and then it can start to go in and get a lot more expensive.
I suppose it adds to your installation time though quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Wrapping an inch over.
Yep. Yeah, because like you got to wait for the PPF to dry out, and then you can make that wrapped edge and lay it down really nicely. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people use a steamer and get it down, but then still you want to wait for that to dry out and then post heat. So, but to do a full car in PPF, I mean, the price range can be dramatic if you're doing colored. If you're just doing a gloss, a satin, I mean, you can spend up to $8,000 to $10,000 on a full PPF install.
But it's so worth it too, because I mean, it lasts forever.
Not only is it worth it, but it also can show up on Carfax, resale value, like all that type of stuff. It's definitely worth it. It's just like if you buy a ring, you want to make sure you put insurance on it because it's an expensive ring. It's literally the same exact thing. Like, if a customer calls me, hey, I just bought a brand new truck or whatever, go get PPF. Just do it.
I'm going to take a second to support the home team. Many of you know the podcast is based out of Ratified Motorsports, who makes some of the sickest builds out here. That dyno you all hear downstairs has seen some serious cars. Whether you're looking for a standard tune for your cute little Volkswagen to a full-on Supra or RS3 build, you should give Ratified a call to get the sauce. Check out ratifiedmotorsport.com/performance to see what they can do for you. Let's get back to the show. Here's a question for you that we got into on episode 57. What are your thoughts on Tesla doing PPF straight from the factory?
I think Tesla should change their everything when it comes to their paint. Their paint is terrible. But I do know that Tim Pros does protect my Tesla. They do phenomenal with that. But yeah, I would say 110% they should definitely do it, or just change whatever the hell they're doing because it's terrible. I don't know what it is they're doing, but their paint is awful. So
yeah, Braxton was saying like on the recent Tesla they did, they it's like the paint shot out or whatever and it just cured that way. Like just I forgot what the term is, but like where it's like divots or whatever.
Orange peel?
Not orange peel. It was like this.
Fish
eye? Some fish eyes in it.
Yeah, fish eye literally looks like a fish eye.
Yeah. So it makes me nervous because like one thing we were talking about is like that thing's gonna be fresh out the factory, right? Like you think they're gonna wait 30 days for the paint to cure?
Yeah, I don't know what they do, but Tesla paint is god awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've wrapped so many Teslas.
But hey, you know what? But they do look. You could tell when a Tesla's been freshly detailed and PPF'd. Like
okay, that looks really good.
It looks really clean. Like you could just tell when I remember seeing my first PPF. It was on my friend Keaton's Blue Huracan. That was my first time seeing a brand new PPF kit. That thing looked beautiful, just ridiculous, like just properly done. So it was just absolutely crazy. You undressing yourself? I know it's hot in here.
Oh yeah, I'm a little hot. I'm also on a lot of medication, so.
No, you're good, dude.
Sometimes I get hot, sometimes I get cold.
No, it's this weird, like when the weather switches from like 30 degrees to 70 degrees, you're not acclimated. And then we're in this room, in the podcast studio, windows blocked off over here. We get a little bit of heat soak in here. So
yeah, I went into my shop this morning, and it's really nice outside, and my shop is cold. and my
Okay.
shop was at like 68, but outside I'm hot. So I was like, what the hell is going on? So I turned my heat up more. Now it's hot in the shop. I gotta shut the heat off. I'm just playing games today because it's really nice out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's perfect. But yeah, heat soaking like Dan's old Whipple car.
Yeah.
The ECU.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of like care and maintenance you have to do with a PPF still? So like, is it a forever thing, or is it still like? I'm assuming that it can get scratches and sand from driving and stuff like that. Do you just peel it and replace some parts, or?
So when you get PPF, the way that you'd probably want to look at it is a forever thing. Some of the old styles of PPF, what would happen is it would yellow out over time. That would really be the only thing that would happen that was bad with PPF.
Okay.
But a lot of the newer companies and also some of the older companies have completely changed that. And they still stay high gloss and stuff like that. And are extremely resistant to rock chipping. So I would definitely say it's for sure 110% of forever thing when you do it.
You ever get anybody that PPFs and then ceramic coats over that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they also make ceramic embedded PPF too.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, but it's not anywhere relatively close to an actual ceramic install. It's nowhere near. It's nowhere near. It doesn't compare.
Okay.
Yeah, we really went down a rabbit hole of PPF, even though you don't do it anymore.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I know a lot
realize
about
that.
it though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I guess what's been one of the more difficult things you've kind of been having to deal with when it comes to installs?
I would just kind of say, maneuvering the material.
Is it like the big stuff or the small stuff? I
It's
guess
all of it, yeah, because just like all vinyl, it has to lay in one position for it to be correct and not to fail. So when you have two hands, you can grab the vinyl and open it up and set it correctly. When you have one hand, what happens when I pull the stretch is I create, these lines in the vinyl, and that's stress, and that can cause failure. So essentially what I do is I kind of have to tag it in one place, stretch that, and then also tag that, then reset the other piece, and just make sure I get the vinyl glass before I even install. So it's just a little bit slower, but I think that would be the most difficult for sure, is just making sure that the vinyl is laid correctly. I can still cut really nicely. I can hold a heat gun, all that good stuff. But just maneuvering the vinyl that's the most difficult part.
Well, I'm sure like one of the more frustrating things that I don't even know if you even dealt with this, but have you ever dealt with like tacking or whatever on one side and you go to the other side to pull it and it just comes off on the other side?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the first thing I thought about. Like I would be cussing up a storm.
Yeah, as an installer, you do kind of sometimes forget that the vinyl that you're working with is either heat sensitive or pressure sensitive, and like once you get into this zone when you're wrapping, you just want to go because you're doing really good. And, stuff like that occurs, where you got this bumper prepped, you're ready to go, and, you tag it, and then you start to pull it, and it just pops off, and you just wasted 10 feet of vinyl. And, I don't really get mad about it because, things do happen.
Yeah.
But, that's just my industry, and that's what I love to do, so it doesn't really bother me. But definitely for somebody that's either DIYing it or maybe they're just getting into it, they'd probably get extremely angry because it does cost money when you do fuck up wraps.
Oh, that's me. I've been there.
Yeah.
Like when I did the Kinder Egg wrap on my car. Like
I love that.
That was so fun.
When you did that.
Yeah, I should bring it back or something. I don't know. I do have a cool wrap design I'm working on right now with Trevor, who's been my designer for years. Like he did all my Whiplash stuff, my Venom stuff. Amazing guy. I always have to give him a shout out. And I'm just happy he's at Tin Pros crushing it. But when I did that wrap or whatever, it's like I had this 6-foot section, 7-foot section on the side of the car, and it was just me. So I had to do exactly what you're talking about. I'd have to tack it, and then I'd have to go to the other side, and then this side would fall off, and I would just, my life is over. It's like it's like
that's why I don't do tint, because I'm super OCD. One little speck, that shit's coming off.
Yeah, if you look at the tint on my car, you'd have a heart attack. Because my friend who did it at the time, like, killed it on like 4 to 5 windows or whatever it was, but there was one. I picked up a dog hair or whatever, and it got, didn't go down quite all the way, which, I didn't really care because it was, a cheap tint job. So I was like, hey, at least I got tint.
Yep.
It came with the car officer. But yeah. But yeah, no. So, okay, so you don't do tint anymore then?
No, I don't do tint. I send it over to my friend Brandon. He's literally right next door or also.
Yeah, I met him before, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does phenomenal.
Is that the guy that's based out of Kirk's Customs or whatever?
No, that's another guy. His name's Alan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he works out of Kirk's shop, but Brandon, he owns his own business, Designer Tinting. They do phenomenal work.
Okay.
They're literally a door down. So someone comes and asks for tint, I say, go next door.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, you have to shoot me the, or I can look it up after,
yeah,
too.
they got Snapchat, Google, all kinds of stuff. They're setting up a website right now. And, yeah, they do really good work.
And on a business front, so how have you been on that front? Do you have enough business coming in?
Yeah, all my business is word of mouth. It's been like that since I started.
That's huge. That's
I
awesome.
did do some like Facebook marketing. That brought in a lot of tire kickers. It got extremely annoying.
I'm curious. So was that people calling, or was that people going through your website?
Well, for Facebook, it was they just send a DM.
Okay.
You know, so I'd have some pictures of my work, and then you have to write a random price, and then there's a description and stuff like that. And you kind of have to cheat the system to be able to post something like that on Facebook, because I did it a couple different times and they shut me down. And then I finally figured out how to do it. And I mean, I would get 5 to 10 messages a day, and it would be like, how much is this? Or, you know, and then I would respond, and then it would just never get a response. I think I maybe got 15 to 20 people off Facebook out of probably the 5,000 texts that I got. So
it's a pain.
It was not worth it.
No. Yeah.
But I've never paid for any ads. My business and my work speaks for itself. It still does.
Referral game's huge.
Yeah, even in my condition right now, I'm still doing the best that I can. But yeah, everything's been word of mouth even since I started. So.
Yeah, that's one thing. If you do like ads like that stuff too, like if you want to save yourself some time, have a really kick-ass website.
Yeah, I really want to set up a website.
Let the people exclude themselves, so you don't have to waste your time with phone calls or whatever, because by the time they get through all the questions and then they get to the price, if they're just price shopping, like here's the deal. A lot of people wait till the last second to give price. And sometimes that makes sense, but you typically want to give it first, because if it's a price shopper, fuck off.
Yep.
You know, unless you're in the pricing industry. But if somebody is saving the price for last, they're just going to go look through everything anyway. So yeah, that'd be a huge thing for you.
Yeah, I've also started taking deposits. Yes. Because that's like, that really distinguishes who's going to get work. It's you want to wrap, all right, I need a deposit. Like, if they're like, oh, you know, they him and ha, then you know they're probably not going to get it done.
We're going to call 6 more shops and all that. It's just
same thing with details. I take a $20 deposit, and you save
$20.
Yeah, and no, people freak out. They're like, really, $20?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if you don't want to pay the $20, I'm not going to put you on schedule. Like, that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, because if you don't show up, that's another slot you could have filled with somebody else that would get work
I'll take
done.
that $20.
Such a time suck, dude. Yeah, I never done deposits on my shoots or whatever. I probably should.
Yeah,
because like I get tire kickers, like, and it's usually the same people every single year. Hey, bro, we'll do a shoot next year.
I don't do deposits for my friends, but
yeah,
customers or people that call off my website or Google.
Yeah,
it's a deposit for sure.
Yeah, I've never done it just because 95% of the people I work with are honest and they're ready to shoot next week.
Yep.
But every year I have like the same 2 or 3 people. All right, bro, this summer. This summer.
I'll see you this summer. My car will be down.
Yeah, I'll see you in 2027. Yeah, fucking never ending.
Yep.
But nonetheless, I'm super grateful for the people that do hit me up. Like I just did my first shoot of the year a few weeks ago, so that was fun.
How was that? Weather was nice?
Weather was nice. It was just...
was it overcast or was it sunny?
We were under a bridge, so overcast.
Oh, a literal overcast.
Yeah. It was... you remember that Modern Warfare 3 Call of Duty map, Overpass?
Yes, I do.
That was a fun map.
I was a Rust guy. I'd be at the top sniping motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I was that guy. And you come up the stairs and I got a shotgun.
Yeah, man. I miss those good old Call of Duty days. Yeah,
that's like good reminiscing.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite, I remember, so Modern Warfare 3 was the first Call of Duty where like I had Xbox Live. So like that was like my opening world to online gaming.
Yep.
Technically, it was at the end of Black Ops 1, you know, when it was fading out. This is a really weird tangent we're going down. But
I know, I'm like, this rabbit hole is crazy.
Nonetheless.
I mean, I remember putting blankets on the screen, taping it, split screen, don't screen peek. Like,
yeah, I remember, man. Those are some good times.
Controllers are flying, all kinds of stuff.
I didn't go that far.
My friend group, we got mad.
Yeah, I got immigrant parents, dude. If I threw a controller, I'm dead. Yeah, I knew what the standard was.
Scratches on the wall, you're fixing it and painting it.
Yeah, dude. I learned early on in my life, don't throw shit.
Yep.
Well, I know we're getting close to that 1 hour mark. So I mean, how are you doing on time? Otherwise, we can keep cooking.
Yeah, I'm free today, so I'm prepared to do whatever.
Well, and on that note, then I have a quick question. So you talked about that you're working on a prosthetic, then, and I don't want to make this all about your accident.
No,
but
yeah,
it's
I'm
kind of
totally open to talking about the accident.
Are you you're going through that process? You're thinking that's going to help? I'm assuming that's going to help you greatly with being able to open and peel vinyl, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So the options for prosthetic is there's 3 different types. There's one where you use your shoulders and your back muscles to kind of get the arm to move, and that arm you also kind of have to make a swing motion, which will then unlock the arm and make it go straight. Then they also have a second version of that, and then the third would be to get into mechanical arms, which is what I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
In the beginning of the accident, I was like extremely depressed because the cost of getting a prosthetic is not cheap. Even their most basic prosthetic is, around the $10,000 range. And thank God I have an extremely good insurance company, and I just got off the phone with them not too long ago where they told me I have no limit on what I can spend for a prosthetic, which means I can get $1 million arm if I want to. And I think I'm going to take advantage of making sure I get the best arm that I can for me and my company, and just go from there. I think I'm going to go with something that's mechanical. They're not fast. They don't open and close like a normal hand, but they do open and close that you can pinch, rotate the wrist, the elbow, all kinds of cool stuff. And I also got lucky with my amputation. I have a mid bicep amputation, which is perfect for any type of prosthetic. Okay. So I got really lucky with that.
Okay. So is mechanical, like of those 3, is that the best of those 3?
Yeah, that would be the best.
Okay.
If you're an active person. I've also heard and talked to a lot of amputees, people that have leg amputations and stuff like that too.
Are you talking about the local guy?
No, I've been just talking to a bunch of different people, even like some people that my family know that have amputations. A lot of them say that they just don't really care to have a prosthetic, which is kind of odd to me. I don't have that mindset. I feel like it would be extremely beneficial to me and make me feel more comfortable as a human too, and kind of make me feel more whole, because I do struggle with my appearance and stuff like that. I get stared at. My body is extremely scarred and destroyed. I have had, I think I'm over about 30 surgeries on my left leg. I have a scar that starts up here and goes almost down to my foot. I just had a skin graft on this leg, so this is all messed up, and I feel like having a prosthetic would make me feel more whole as a person and also help me out in my business too. So
you must have had a helmet on too, then, I assume. Huh?
Yeah, I did have a helmet. My helmet got blown off, actually.
Oh wow.
If you know 169 and you're familiar with 169, going north, like you're gonna go towards like Hopkins, Brooklyn Park, Champlain, like going that way, right before the Londonderry exit is where the guardrail stops and the concrete starts. And where I crashed was directly in between that. So I pinballed from wire to concrete, like bouncing in between it. And God had a plan, because I was inches away from exploding. I like, if you literally look where I crashed, there's a concrete barrier, and if I hit that directly on, I would be dead. There's no question about it. And yeah, I just literally just pinballed right through there, and my helmet hit the concrete, because when I was rotating, my helmet hit the concrete, which blew the helmet off, and then some sort of metal went through my mouth, like literally under my chin and out through my mouth, like a clean all the way through. Didn't hit my tongue or nothing, which was extremely odd too. But yeah, I was just like millimeters away from exploding.
Wow,
it was crazy.
Is this like just slightly north of like the 494 interchange?
Yep. Yeah. So if you're coming down north, like from Shakopee, and you start to get more towards the Hopkins Minnetonka area, you'll see the Londonderry exit.
Yeah.
It's going to be off to your right, and if you look to your left, if you're watching the guardrail, you'll start to see it stops, and then this concrete barrier starts to go up, and then there's the bridge. Like, I literally pinballed in between there, and I was stuck on the ground there. The bike was resting against the wall, and when I was laying there, I'm like, no one's gonna see me, no one's gonna find me. Like, I looked, I can get into a little bit, but when I had crashed, I was laying there, and before I crashed, everything slowed down. I told myself I was dead. I have no time to pray, I'm dead. And then it happened. I'm laying there. I look to my right, it's just concrete. And I look to my left, and I can see through the wires the cars are just passing. Like, nothing even happened. And I was just telling myself, I'm laying here, I can feel myself bleeding out. And then I'd seen my arm and stuff like that too. And then I was laying there for maybe about 5 minutes, just contemplating and just thinking about a bunch of stuff. And some random guy came up to the barrier, and he was on his phone, and he looks over at me, and I look up at him, and he goes, yeah, he's still alive. And I was just like, just instant relief that somebody had found me. And 6 minutes later, I'm having a conversation with the state trooper. The ambulance is there, the highway's blocked off, and literally put me on a gurney. I get into the ambulance, and they start driving, and I'm literally strapped down to this gurney, like I'm not moving. And my perception of reality is just so messed up that once that ambulance started driving, I was like, you guys gotta slow the fuck down, you're going so fast. And the guy's like, we're literally not even turning. But my world is just so shook that everything is, I have no perception on reality. And then they literally cut me down butt naked in there, and we're doing tourniquets and stuff like that.
Yeah, damage assessment.
Yep. And the guy goes, all right, buddy, we're gonna give you some fentanyl, and you're gonna be all right. And I felt them inject the fentanyl, and I was just gone. I had an extremely crazy out-of-body experience. I literally shot into space. I seen some crazy stuff. I had a really crazy experience with like literally the balance between devil and the God, like just this really crazy out-of-body experience. And then I also seen myself on the the bed thing where they do the surgery. I watched myself on the bed, and then I came out of a coma, and it was just extremely crazy, and none of it felt real. And I kept telling myself, this is not real, and then when I left the hospital after everything was done, my parents brought me to like this park, and it was just a group of all my friends, and they had all their cars out. And it was just, that's when the air hit my face and I could breathe and stuff like that, and I seen everybody, that's when I realized that it was real. But the entire time that I was in the hospital, everything was fake. It was...
Reality just set in, huh?
Yeah. Everything was fake.
Yeah, that's...
It gets a lot deeper than that, but that's just kind of scratching the surface and explaining, what really happens when you experience something like that. I mean, I literally died twice. They had to resuscitate me and everything. So
I was surprised. Like, this is my first time hearing most of that story. It's like I was surprised that you were even conscious after that. Like, you're able to remember that.
I was going to ask that question.
Yeah, I can tell you literally everything start to finish. I have all memory.
That's one thing you mentioned. And again, you don't have to say everything on here. By the way, feel free to stop at any point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are quite interested in hearing some of the logistics.
But at the end of the day, like, if there's any aspect that you don't want to go too deep into, But shit, I lost what I was gonna say. But
well, that was pretty intense. So yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's what I was okay. No joke intended. But yeah, you said your memory was a little, messed up for a while. Is it mostly coming back now, or is your
there's a lot of things that I hit my head extremely hard. That rattled my brain.
As a baby or from the accident?
Both. Yeah.
You gotta try to lighten it up a little bit.
I hit my head extremely hard, and in the hospital there was a lot of I couldn't talk for a really long time. I had tubes in my throat. And, they're pumping me with air, keeping my heart going, all kinds of stuff. And during that time when I was conscious but my body was not functioning, I was running off a bunch of computers and stuff, that's when I was trying to remember a lot of things. All I could remember was the accident. I couldn't remember the people that were sitting next to me. I couldn't remember my childhood, none of that. But no extreme brain damage, which is odd. So essentially that causes from damage to your prefrontal cortex, which is directly in the center of your head, which is where I hit my head. But a lot of the memory does come back. There's still things I don't know. Like sometimes when my parents say, "Oh, do you remember this as a kid?" Blah blah blah, and I just smile and nod. But there's nothing there. So, and sometimes I can be doing something and I'll literally forget what I did 30 minutes ago, or what I ate the following day. So stuff is still happening, and then also having the disease and going back into the hospital and stuff like that also put me back into kind of this deep state where I was struggling, fighting for my life again. I've fought now twice, and that was the purpose for my meeting and stuff like that too, just to be happy and stuff, like grateful that I'm still alive. And it was just your reality gets changed. Your perception on people and how to love and respect people changes. Being afraid of death when you don't experience something like that, and then you do. I have no fear of death anymore. I had my out of body experience was not bad. It was really good, and it changed my reality a lot. And now my perception with people is just to love and respect and not be mean. But I'm also sometimes not a nice person. If I don't like you, I don't like you, and that's just the way it's gonna be.
Got to keep it real still.
Yeah. But at the same time, after the accident, everything has changed. I just want to love everybody and just be happy and thankful that I'm alive. There's a reason to it.
Not even that being mean, really, but you don't. When you have an experience like that, you realize that you don't have time for bullshit.
Yep.
Like there's.
He was like that before, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
before I was like that, but now I'm a lot more like that. It's just like if I can't have a conversation with you, or and this does sound selfish and kind of cocky, but if you don't benefit me in any sort of way that's positive, I don't want to be around you. Because if you're going to bring negative into my life, I can't respect you, and I don't want to be around you, because I've already went through enough negative in such a short period of time. I don't have time for it, and I just want to focus on myself and have good relationships with people. Just be pure and happy.
Focus on the positive again. I was checking several times a day for updates.
Yeah, my mom is real good with that.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not friends with her on Facebook, but I was checking for updates like several times a day. Like, before I would go to bed, like, all right, let's see if there's anything new over here, whatever. Because obviously, like, and I'm not sure if other people relate to this, but I try not to be the nosy guy. Like, if I see an accident on the side of the highway, I try not to be the guy that slows down 20 miles an hour, so I try not to inconvenience people. Yeah, I was checking like all the time. It's just, I'm sure many people that are listening to this are too.
One of the craziest things that really hit me super hard was, just like I said, that 20 minutes before the accident, I'm playing volleyball with the people that I consider family to me, and one of my really good friends, Brandon Sip, he's like my brother, and he literally drove past the accident, like drove directly past the accident when it happened, and he didn't even know it's me until 2 days later.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
That just was mind-boggling. Just getting to hear somebody else's perspective on the accident is just crazy, because everybody from volleyball drove past it. You know what I'm saying? So
how could you even imagine that's your friend?
Yeah,
right.
And you don't know the condition that I'm in, or if I'm dead and stuff like that. And
you're probably pissed that traffic's backing up.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I mean,
the other side was blocked off. Like, they literally blocked off the highway.
Wow.
I think it didn't make the news, but it was posted online and stuff like that too. So you can find the accident, pictures of like the highway closed off at night and stuff like that.
That was one of the other things. There's a little trick that I tell people, right? Is like, if you ever want to check on something, like see what's going on, I'll type in whatever city, something accident, and then I'll like, it's on Google, right? I hit news, and then I hit like recent, like 24 hours.
Yep.
I did that like once or twice too, to like make sure there was like nothing about that.
Yep.
Yeah, just crazy.
Yeah, I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm thankful to be alive, but I'm more thankful for the community, the car community coming together for me, because just like I said, my business is strictly directed towards Minnesota car community, and I don't think I have any negative impact on Minnesota car community. Maybe
So far, you're so good. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I mean, I've beefed with a couple people before, but that's old news, and that doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
But just the hundreds, and I mean hundreds of people that have came together for me. It's
Well, that GoFundMe that Joey set up. I think Joey set it up, right?
I mean, that $15,000 was gone as quick as it came, but it still was amazing. I mean, amazing. Like I don't even have words to explain how thankful I am for that type of stuff, and to see that and experience something where somebody created a GoFundMe page to help me in my situation. I never thought that anybody would do that for me. And that's what I was saying, like all the positive that I've tried to do for people, just out of the kindness of my heart, all the free stuff. If somebody's broken down, go help them, stuff like that. And you kind of sit there and think, oh man, it's never going to get returned. And then you go through something like this, and it's unbearable how much people actually do care and want to be there for you. But there's also a lot of people that want to ride on my coattail and just be a part of the news and be around me just because how much attention I've received. And I can see the bullshit for sure. So
yeah,
but I'm just extremely thankful for everybody that's came together for me.
That's one thing I gotta compliment the community on, because like when Trey's car burned down too, everybody came out and supported him too. That was pretty awesome to see. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, Minnesota car scene is definitely odd.
It can be.
But I think at the end of the day, it's an entire community and family. I think everybody respects each other for the most part, but it's kind of weird because Wisconsin's car scene is 10 times greater than Minnesota. But we kind of our own little thing, and people.
Yeah, but it's
unique.
all over there.
Yeah,
I'm in Wisconsin, Hudson though, so I'm part of the Minnesota.
You're an adopted, redheaded stepchild.
You came out of nowhere.
We'll take you. Yeah, no, absolutely. But the community is what you make of it too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's occasionally, especially like on TikTok, you get these, these people that come out of nowhere into the car scene or whatever, just because they can't be popular elsewhere. The car community is what you make out of it. Who you associate with, like if you, it's like that old saying. It's like if you have 5 friends that are whatever, you're gonna be the 6th.
Yep.
Same thing applies to the car scene, right?
Yep.
If you associate with people that are meh, it's gonna feel meh for an obvious reason. But if you associate, I'm blessed that I fell into the good part of the car community early on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've my perspective on growing up. When I was very young, I was told you are who you hang around, and my parents always tell me that you hang around drug addicts, you'll probably become a drug addict. You hang around business owners, you're going to become a business owner. And I was blessed to be around people that were older than me and that owned businesses, and now I'm a fairly successful business owner. So same thing applies to the car community. You hang out with BMW owners, you're probably going to buy a BMW.
Like you did.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just how it is.
Well, I must have been hanging out at Ratified too much. I got an Audi R8 shirt on underneath here.
That's just how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We love Ratified.
Yeah, no, they're good stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah, they're a good team down here. So we might be doing a Ratified After Hours episode here soon. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Just get a few of the employees and just
bullshit.
Yeah, you need some of those, just bullshitting episodes, man. Like, some of these
rants.
Yeah, just dude, the rant ones are fun. Like I've gotten better at it recently, but like every 10th episode now, roughly, like I go on a full-on monologue just ranting about something. Like I just go on one.
You're like, guys, the floor is open. Say what you want.
Yeah,
complain.
Those are so fun, dude. Oh man, but yeah, man. Like before we start wrapping up here, because I don't know if were you a part of the initial Pick 3 cars? I think you were the first episode.
Yeah,
you were the first episode.
Yep, I did. I did the Pick 3 cars.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, I think I did like a Honda, Ferrari, and
we'll figure it out.
We'll see. Stupid.
How's what do you have right now?
Currently I have an R32 Skyline, and then I have a BMW X5.
Okay.
Good for bringing that up. What's the situation with the Skyline? Are you still trying to get rid of it?
The Skyline's depressing. The Skyline was an R32 was a dream since a child. I've also had a lot of cars that I've dreamt of owning. The reality is that I've already owned them. The Skyline was one that I've always wanted to keep and never let go. The problem with that car is that every single time somebody touches it, it gets fucked up or it doesn't get finished. My motor has been through 6 different people and it's still not finished. I now have to backtrack because something that was supposed to be done on the car is not done. So, or on the motor, it's not done. So now we need to re-pull the motor apart and refix everything. So I'm thousands and thousands of dollars into the car. When I bought the Panda kit, I brought it to a shop. They said they were going to do a great job. I had the car prepped. I brought it to them in pieces. The hood is off, the trunk's off, the mirror's off, handles, the doors. It's literally in pieces. All they had to do was prep and paint. When I saw my car when it was done being painted, I mean, I cried for a week straight because of how bad it was. So literally every time somebody touches the car, it gets fucked up. So the reason I made that post is because the condition that I'm in right now, and I don't think people actually understand, is that I'm actually incapable of doing those things. I can try for sure, but to get my car to where I want it to be is impossible in my condition. So what I'm left with is having to spend money for people to do it. And it's just become overwhelming. I just don't want to keep trying with the car. And now it just sits. I literally have a fully built Panda R32 and it's not finished, and it's been 3 years. It got off the dyno and blew up, so it's just extremely difficult. I love the car so much. I want to keep it, but when I made that post, everybody wanted to help. I took the post down. Nope, it's silence. So, that's just kind of what I've been dealing with. So,
yeah.
But again, I can't sit here and expect people to be like, give me money to work on my car, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, what you're expecting, like the way you want it done, and you want it done right.
Yes.
That obviously costs money. That costs a lot of money. Like that's probably gonna be all said and done. Like you explained your vision to me last year. Like I'd be surprised if it was anything less than a $50,000 build.
Oh yeah, I mean I've surpassed $30,000 in the car just on accessories alone.
Well, I mean, in additional work. I mean, because redoing the painting, the motor, all that fun stuff.
Now I have to literally restart. That's the thing, and it's just like it's so depressing.
Which is even more work.
Yep.
I've been down that one a couple times. I have a Celine Cobra right now that's got to have the engine pulled again because it was the engine builder that I was sent to is a piece of shit, and it's never ran since I started it back up. Yeah. So it's frustrating, but then you get to that point too where you're like, it's not worth anything in parts and pieces, and so you just gotta keep throwing money at it until hopefully get it back together to maybe recoup some of your money out of it. Yeah. If sometimes it turns you off enough. You're like, I don't even give a shit if this car's fixed.
Yeah, I mean, I still have the same drive for the car, and I also am trying to figure out. I have a couple friends that are interested in creating some sort of shifting mechanism for my prosthetic. So I do have a couple people that are interested in that aspect of the car, which I trust those people to do. But that's what I really want. I really want to finish the car and it just be unique and fitted to me and also my condition and just enjoy the car. But
maybe your insurance company can get involved now.
I need to finish my bill.
Yeah.
Can you guys take
hey,
this?
we need to readapt this whole thing for my arm.
I can't
now.
drive my manual car. Can you guys help me?
Yeah. Because that's a right-hand drive car too, right?
Right-hand drive, so I shift left-handed. And, we're trying to make something that's kind of oval shaped and that I could put an attachment on my prosthetic where something circular will slide over that, so my arm will be in shift position at all times, it won't bother me. And that's how a lot of people that do drive manual, they rest their hand on their shifter while they're driving. So that would not be a problem to me at all. That's kind of what I'm going for, but it does have to be made, maybe CNC or a 3D print or something. We're going to try both ways, and then also my left leg has some extreme damage. It's not even at its full capability yet right now, so also identifying what type of clutch I'm going to use is going to be a little bit difficult and stuff. So there's a lot more to it, and I do really want help and need help with the car, but I'm just afraid to let anybody touch it.
Yeah, I can see that.
It literally just gets messed up every time.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I know that they have like I think it was the Grand Tour or Top Gear or whatever. They had like some like Formula Drift guys that didn't have like legs and arms or whatever. Yeah. I'm curious, is there anything out there like product wise or anything like, I guess, for a manual car? Have you looked into that at all? Like what's out there?
I have done some research. A lot of that stuff is computer oriented. So some people that are not able to use their legs, they'll use like an electronic throttle that and these people are using vehicles that are much more updated.
True.
My car is driven by wire, so I wouldn't be able to do something like that, and I don't need to because I can still use my legs. But yeah, there is a couple things on the market right now for prosthetic attachments for shifting, but for me specifically and the design of my car, it has to be different. Being a right-hand drive car and shifting left-handed and having an amputated arm, so we're gonna have to design something that maybe, you know, it has an extension where the length, how my arm rests, I'm not like sitting there super extended while I'm driving and stuff like that. And we're just gonna have to play around with the idea. But I've looked into some stuff, but it just kind of ends up getting into kind of an electronic aspect of things.
I have a feeling that is not going to be the hardest problem for you. Getting it adapted for him to drive it, I believe, is going to be the easiest part of it. Actually finding somebody who knows what they're doing to get the engine built right and then do good paint work is going to be your two biggest freaking
that's
problems.
literally the only two things, is getting the car to somebody that can disassemble the kit, because I can't do it now. And that kit is done. I have that kit dialed. Like, I can stand on the front lip and it's not going to break. And so I put the kit together really well, but I also installed the kit that is extremely horribly painted. So now I need to find somebody that can strip the car, strip everything that was painted on it. I literally just want a basic bright gloss white paint job. That's it. My bay is shaved and tucked. It's already painted. That's perfect. So essentially it's just getting the motor assembled correctly and painted, and then the car's done, and figuring out some sort of mechanism to shift left-handed with a prosthetic. So, and the prosthesis process is actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, I can, when I do get to that point, so right now I do have other things I need to focus on before I go get a prosthetic, that, like, with my health. But essentially I can walk into, you know, somewhere reputable and get a prosthetic within a couple months.
Okay.
And get set up pretty quickly. They do have stuff that's already made. It's just about money.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, and
that's why I'm just so happy that my insurance is covering that.
So that should be on the horizon here real soon.
Yeah,
then,
very
hopefully.
soon. Yeah, by summertime for sure. I'll have a fully functioning prosthetic for
That's
sure.
awesome, dude.
I'm extremely excited for that. I probably get like some sort of carbon fiber one, maybe wrap it, put some anime bitches on it or something. I don't know. Have fun with it. Who knows? But
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I'm gonna try and get something unique and fun.
That's awesome.
But,
so before we pop the usual three, I have one last question then. So then what's next on the horizon for you then in the next few months, I guess? The prosthetic.
Yep, prosthetic for sure. Focusing on recovery and health, and right now, kind of my biggest thing is just getting back into having relationships with everybody. That's just like my biggest thing. Because going through this, there behind the scenes, there's a pretty big mental aspect, and it's extremely defeating. So just having people around me, and you know, the check-ins, and being able to just text somebody and, you know, have a conversation, or people stop by the shop or whatever, I think is just all I need. And that's really what I'm focused on for the next few months, is just recovery, relationships, you know, prosthetic, hopefully getting my car done, and just getting the reason why I purchased the X5 is because it's comfortable for me to drive with my leg and stuff like that. Also, I'd like to modify it slightly and just make it unique and fun in my own way, and put my business on it and stuff like that. So I think, you know, just getting the daily correct, get the Skyline done, hopefully prosthetic, and just focusing on relationships and recovery. I think those are the few biggest things right now. So I don't want to take on too much, and also focusing on my business too.
Yeah. Slowly but surely, man.
Yeah.
You think you'll ever get back on a bike again?
Fuck no.
No?
No.
All right.
No, never in my life again. I get extreme PTSD when I see somebody riding a bike, when I hear a bike. Every single day I have to drive past my crash site, like to the shop and away from the shop. There's no way around.
Yeah.
Without taking like a 20-minute detour.
Yeah,
I think you said.
Literally have, if I don't want to drive past my crash site, I can either go through the city up and around, or I have to go down into like Rogers area, like get on 94, go down into Rogers and around into Ramsey, because I live in Ramsey. I moved back in with my parents because, you know, I'm not capable of taking care of myself right now. I can still do a fair amount of things, but just making sure that I'm safe in a safe environment right now is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Just for recovery. And all that, yeah.
So And my parents have been amazing and helpful to me too. So, but
Well,
yeah,
just remember, you can drive past it.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you're here and you have the ability to drive past it is already huge.
Yeah. It hits really hard. I do kind of get locked up sometimes when I'm driving. I get like memories, tunnel visions. It's super weird, but yeah, I definitely being able to just drive past. There was actually a time when I, after the accident, I went and parked my car right where I crashed on the highway, and I walked up in there to see if there was any like remnants of the accident.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anything, but I stood in that spot for, like 10, 15 minutes and just, I did that for myself. And I did it with one of my friends, just to kind of be able to relax and know that everything's fine. And I do have to drive past that every single day. So just really focusing on mental stuff right now is like the biggest part. So
for sure.
Whew. What you woofing for? Do you need me to ask the question?
No,
you need to take your union lunch break? What's going on?
No. This is deep stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been awesome to see, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said,
Thank you.
looking a lot fuller. So
I'm not
awesome.
stopping.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. On that note, Dan, you want to pop the usual 3? Let's see if your answers are the same or different.
Oh.
Let's see.
All right.
Let it rip.
So at the end of every episode, we ask our guest to pick 3 cars. We need a show car, a daily driver, and a track car. What are you picking? You got unlimited budget? Anything you can think up?
I think my options have changed. I think for a show car, I really am interested in the RS6 Avant. I think they're just the way that they're designed from the factory, beautiful cars, wheels, lowering, exhaust, accessories, beautiful show car, basic. For a daily, I'm gonna have to say probably if I could just have an unlimited budget, I'd probably go with like a Urus. Just cause, why not?
Yeah.
If I had the budget, pretty badass SUV. They're fun, powerful. They look good. Track car, I'm still staying with the Honda. Some, all-wheel drive Honda for sure, like time attack style. Like a boosted Honda for sure.
Think like an
an
older one?
Like an EG or EK hatch for sure. 4-wheel conversion, just straight time attack car.
I love it.
That's what I would do for sure. Love my Honda boys too.
Yeah, I need
Shout
to
out
get,
to the Honda boys.
I need to get somebody from the Honda boys on here. Somebody that like works like makes some fast Hondas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't know too many people in Minnesota that are. They're the Honda boys. They're sneaky.
Yeah.
They come out and they do damage and then they go back into hiding. You don't really know who's the best, but I love the Honda boys.
Well,
Sure.
I can't remember. This is like early on in the podcast, but it's like these Honda guys, like they could just rebuild the car. Like they can have 5 motors for the cost of your single Coyote or whatever. It's like they'll just blow up a motor every race. They'll be ready to go, dude.
Yeah. They're like the saying, K-swap the world.
Yeah,
K-swap everything. If it's a Honda, K-swap it. I mean, that's kind of a broad statement. A lot of people like different series motors for the Hondas, but typically the K series is a very phenomenal motor and boosted or supercharged. They make really good power, and Hondas are very light cars and good sleepers.
Scary.
Blow the doors off a $150,000 to $300,000 Lambo in your $15,000 shit box. I love that type of stuff.
That's the best stuff, man. That's my favorite too.
Like the go sell it sign.
Yeah.
When you just blast it.
Yeah, just sell it. Yeah. Well, sweet, man. Where can people find you?
You can go on Instagram and you can look up my username. My personal account is 2_ Jake Bird with 2_ at the end. If you want to check out my business account, it's Automotive Alterations. That's where you can see all of my work. Same thing on Google, Automotive Alterations, located in Shakopee. And if anybody needs some work or just wants to talk, whatever, you can message me, call me, and yeah.
Sweet. And any final shout outs before we wrap up too? Yeah. There's so many, I'm sure.
I'm like, right now.
Just check the comments.
Yeah, literally, just check the comments. I think I do have to give a really big shout out to Jason Chun. That kid's literally been, since the accident, he's been recording, my process and stuff like that. That I love everything he does for me. He's extremely patient with me. shout out to him. And just shout out to literally, if I could go on for hours of names, but I'll just shout out literally everybody that has made their own impact on my life and reach out to me, and that show up to my cookouts and stuff like that. So
yeah, they know who they are.
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
the end of the day.
I think everybody knows who they are when they hear that. So
yeah, well, that's awesome, man. And then Dan, where can people find you?
You can find us at Gunna Garage with 2 N's. A car just came out of the garage
Hell
today,
yeah.
so we'll get back at it. Check in for some Texas 2K content here coming up in a few weeks, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that we have some of our friends going down there too. So I'm stoked.
Yes.
Dude, Texas is gonna be lit. I'm excited, man. It's the Super Bowl of my car season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Have you been? You haven't been, have you?
Nope, I haven't been to Texas 2K. It
Make
was
it a bucket list.
Yeah, definitely something that was in Japan for sure.
Japan's a big one for me. Yeah, we're about to get on a
I
whole nother
literally, the
tangent.
thing is that I can literally afford to go to Japan. I just still haven't done it, and it's just such a big dream of mine. But it's like, if I'm gonna go for a couple weeks for sure.
You have to. I have a friend actually who's going to Switzerland and then Japan. He's doing like a 3-week vacation for like snowboarding, skiing, whatever.
Crazy,
Stuff I can't do.
Yeah.
I'm not talented enough for that. Fuck that. But sweet. On that note, everybody, thanks for listening to the episode. Thanks for coming back, Jake. It's awesome to have you back a second time.
Yeah, I love you. You're so beautiful.
I try my best. Thank you. Thank you. It's not genetic. It's plastic surgery. But nonetheless, thank you. You guys know where you're at. Dan, thanks for existing, and we'll see you next time.